Hey there, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to make this video primarily for myself. However, if this helps other young guys that are coming up, then that's awesome. Today I wanted to talk about and recap my 20s and what I did in my 20s to help set me up for the rest of my life, in my opinion. In just a few weeks, I'm going to be 30 years old, which I think is kind of crazy because it seems like just like yesterday, I was a young guy going out skateboarding and goofing off. However, it wasn't until I was 20 years old that I really started to take my life seriously. Maybe 19 going on 20. In that time, when I was 19 years old, the very first thing that I did in order to help create this solid foundation in my 20s was enlisting in the U.S. Marine Corps. Now, at the time, I was skateboarding and not really having any direction in my life. I was a young guy and I didn't know what to do or, what was next for me. And I needed something that would really shift the trajectory of my life. And so it might seem extreme to some of you that are watching this, but I needed to go in the military. And what better branch than the Marine Corps? And what better job than infantry? And so that, I would say, was the first thing that I did to really help set me up for the future, was enlisting in the Marine Corps. Now, I can make a separate video discussing some of the things that I've learned and so on and so forth throughout that time. But if I can summarize it very briefly, it would be learning a lot about myself, learning about how other people operate, and learning about different cultures around the world. And that's not even abroad. That could be even, different states. Learning how people work and how they react to certain things, and being able to really study people and being exposed to a super wide array of different locations, sceneries, cultures, you name it. That was the number one thing that I first did, and that was the age of 19 is when I enlisted, and then when I was 20 years old, I was in boot camp. That was the first thing. So after the Marine Corps, I EAS'd, right? I got out in 2019, Q2, and I found myself very briefly, not having a job. And then 1 month after getting out, this guy took a chance on me and really helped me transition back into the civilian sector. Now, this gentleman and his wife really invested in me and really just took me under their wing. I actually refer to them as my mentors. And I know that term is used very loosely nowadays. People have a mentor for everything. But in my humble opinion, these people it was a husband and their wife, really took me under their wing and just showed me how to live a new life. And I wanted to use everything that I learned in the Marine Corps, and now given opportunities in the civilian sector professionally, I was able to implement a lot of the things that I had learned in the Marine Corps to now do it on the civilian sector. And what I found was I was different than the rest of the folks. I think it was just having that mentality of, get things done with a sense of urgency, but also get it done in a manner of which I'm putting my best foot forward and I actually care about doing a good job. And so the Marine Corps has certainly helped out with that aspect. And without, the help of my mentors and the opportunities that they have given me, even to this day, I wouldn't be where I'm at. One thing I wanted to talk about too that has really helped set a solid foundation for my, in my 20s and moving up into my 30s and even after that, was rewiring my mind. Now you might ask yourself, well, what does that even mean? I had to unlearn a lot of things that have been programmed into my mind. And this could even be from, childhood, my parents, definitely some things that, that I learned from the Marine Corps. I had to learn how to take the good out of these aspects and wipe out the bad. And I was able to do that. I'm not going to say, I've been able to wipe out everything that's negative. There's still aspects of me, and even to this day from the Marine Corps that I wish was able to shake. One of them being is, I'm always in a hurry. I have a sense of urgency for everything, and to some degree, it's not good. And so, but for the most part, I was able to rewire my brain and unlearn a lot of the things that were holding me back subconsciously that I didn't even know I was being held back by. There were a couple things also that I wanted to point out here. The last alcoholic beverage that I had was on December 30th, 2023. And that was actually when I was visiting my family in Southern California, and we were at Ballast Point. It was one of my favorite breweries. If you're familiar with SoCal and the Long Beach area, there's a wonderful brewery called Ballast Point. And growing up in my early 20s, that was the place that I loved to go. I love their beers, and there was something in me that after that day, I was done with it. So it's been over a year now since I had a drink of alcohol or even a sip, and I'm just not looking back. I'm so happy with how things are going and how my life is going that I want to be as present as possible. And so that was one thing that also helped me out tremendously was, stopping alcohol. I mean, I noticed an energy difference for sure. On top of that, too, going into my 30s, I am physically the strongest I've ever been in my entire life. I'm able to bench the most that I've ever been able to, do as many pull-ups as, do the most amount of pull-ups rather than I was ever able to do previously. And so that paired with, stopping drinking, it's helped my energy out tremendously. Now, I'm not going to say I don't get anxious about certain things. There's obviously things that I do get anxious about, but for the most part, those things have helped out tremendously. So just to recap to this point, the Marine Corps was the start of all of this. So without the Marine Corps, I definitely would not be the person I am today. Second, finding mentors, attaching yourself to people that have that kind of lifestyle that you want to have. They can show you how to get there in the shortest amount of time possible, and they will always have your best interest in mind. And so I owe it to them. I'm so grateful and appreciative that they took a chance on me and gave me several opportunities to further myself professionally, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all this kind of stuff. So Marine Corps, having really solid mentors, being able to rewire, the brain and unlearn a bunch of things that were holding me back subconsciously. Fourth, quitting alcohol. Fifth, working out. I want to go back real quick. When I say I was able to unlearn, a lot of things, it's helped me become a better person, and I feel like, in my opinion, a better partner as well. So coming out of the Marine Corps, I had a ton of trauma, and I know that word is also used very loosely, but I wasn't confident in myself. I didn't feel like I was able to love somebody because in all reality, I didn't love myself. And so now, I'm engaged. I have a wonderful fiance. She's great, has a lot of patience with me, and we're happy overall. One of the things too that I really wanted to get done before the age of 30, there's two. One of them is I wanted to buy a house. So I was able to do that at the age of 29. Q2 of 24, I was able to buy my first house. I also, before the age of 30, I wanted to make six figures. I don't determine success as a financial number. And some people do. Some folks will say, oh, 6 figures, I would love 6 figures. I'd be super successful. I actually think that's not the case. I think success is, one, it's obviously what you determine it as, but I think if you are acting as the best version of yourself possible, if you are that beacon of light for, everybody around you in your circle, and everybody, looks up to you because you are the man, I think that is success. And just knowing that you are the man internally and deep down. And so I know I'm the man. And, the finances, I think it's a byproduct of, when you really start to work on yourself in all these different facets and all these different areas, I think the financial aspect of it will start to follow. Think of yourself kind of as like a magnet in a sense. When you start to do good and you start to attract good, the good stuff, it will just find its way into your life. Just looking back and thinking about from age, 19, let's say, going into the Marine Corps, 19 to 20, until present day, 29 years old, I'm extremely, extremely grateful and appreciative of how things have been turning out. I really couldn't have done it without the people in my life. One of the things, too, that I wanted to discuss, one of the big shifts happened for me when I moved away from everything that I knew and was comfy with. A number of years ago, I had moved home states, and I moved to a different state. And at the time when I did this, I had to start over. I didn't have a network. I didn't have, people that I can rely on. And it really forced me to start from, at the bottom again, and to be able to just see how quickly things have developed. It just makes me super appreciative and extremely grateful. I wanted to also make this video because some folks I've been seeing on YouTube, they're having difficult times. Obviously, the economy is an interesting time right now, and people are struggling. But I want you to understand that as quickly as things can go down for you in a downhill manner, they can also go in the upwards manner for you extremely quick as well. It's really a matter of shifting the way that you think about things, and the goodness will start to find its way into your life. Lastly, I understand that, I said it's not a financial thing, but I, in my 20s, was able to, in my opinion, invest extremely wisely. This can mean a number of different things, whether it be equities, stocks, all this kind of stuff. But in the short amount of time that I have been doing that, I've been seeing, returns that I didn't even think were possible in such a short period of time. I'm extremely excited for my 30s. If the 20s were this good, I just know the 30s are going to be even better, which is kind of crazy. I'm just so stoked, man. I mean, everything that I've wanted has started to come to fruition. I have such a lovely fiance. We're engaged now. I've got the house, making good money. I feel confidence in myself. I'm the strongest I've ever been. Things are just really starting to align, and I just know the 30s are going to be, that much better. Thank you for sticking around for the 15 minutes, or 14 minutes rather. But I want you to know too, if you're watching this and you're a young guy, you can have anything and everything you want in this life. If you can envision certain things and take the actions and the steps necessary to get there, eventually you will start to have everything you want in this life. With that being said, I'll leave it there, but my 20s were such a great time. One thing I want to say too is if I could change anything, or if I can go back, and even present day, one of the things that I got from the Marine Corps was an extreme sense of urgency. Everything needs to, hurry, go. And whether, that could be good in some facets, but that can also be very negative in some others as well. And so with all this being said, if I can change one thing, I would stop and smell the roses more often. But anyways, thank you. Now it really has been 15 minutes. Thank you for watching and hanging with me here. Again, this is primarily for myself to reflect back on, make another video 10 years from now and, talk about my 30s going into my 40s. But at any rate, I want you to know that you are awesome and that the universe loves you, God loves you. And if there's anything that you want to, discuss further, leave a comment and I'll either make a video about the subject or just comment. But anyways, take care. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.